Hi, I'm Kyle from the Shift Open Finance community, and today I'm joined with James from Yapily. And we're going to be going straight into it. So, tell us about Yapily. What problems do you solve? What solutions do you provide?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, thank you very much for having us on your program. So, Yapily is, at its core, an open banking infrastructure platform. So, we're one of the leading providers in Europe, and we really built to create a better, fairer, and more inclusive financial ecosystem. Ultimately, what we do is that we help companies connect directly to their customers' bank accounts, and that enables them to do a couple of things. Firstly, it enables their customers to initiate instant, secure payments from their bank account, but it also allows them to share important financial data with that customer of ours.
Yeah, perfect. You are one of the largest third-party providers in Europe. It's funny, most of the people I speak to are the consumers of open banking data and trying to use it in different ways, but you are one of the infrastructure providers. Now, how does Yapily start and how long have you been going? What's the journey of Yapily so far?
So it was founded in 2017 by our chief exec, Stefano Vicino, and it was really built to try and address the inequitable kind of ecosystem that was brought about by, I guess, outdated financial systems. And really that mission has carried forward to try and open up open banking, drive open finance forwards. And I think it's a mission that kind of sits quite closely to all of our hearts at Yapily.
Yeah, talking about a mission that sits quite close to our hearts, let's talk a bit more about you. We've spoken about Yapily. When did you join that mission and what's your role within Yapily?
Yeah, so I joined just over a couple of years ago, and my focus is on the commercial team. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm typically speaking with enterprise customers. And really what I'm looking to do is try and understand exactly how customers are doing things today, and really how their processes and their proposition could be transformed with that direct bank connectivity. Today it's around bank accounts because open banking, but in future we are looking towards open finance where there'll be a lot more data available for customers to draw upon.
Definitely. I'm going to come back to that point very shortly. But speaking about our relationship with Shift and Yapily, we were originally first involved with Stefano, I believe. That's how we kind of got to know you guys and how you got involved with the community. When were you first made aware of Shift? How did you get involved and why did you want to join?
I think I've been involved with the Shift relationship for probably about a year and a half now. And I was brought into that relationship because ultimately my focus, as I mentioned, is with larger scale organizations, maybe banks, building societies, other financial institutions. And it seemed like there was quite a good fit with what I'm focused on and I suppose, the membership that you guys hold.
Yeah, perfect. And then, of course, Yapily's not just Shift member, you're also Shift Plus. So you've got Nav from the Woodhurst team as your success manager. How have you found that program so far? And also, how do you hope Shift Plus can help you in the future?
So I think at its core, it seems like Shift shares our values of innovation, collaboration, and giving everyone a shared platform to exchange new ideas and really to help try and collectively address the challenges that we see across financial services. The other thing I think that you guys have is that kind of overarching view of kind of companies as they move towards open finance, and that really helps us to, I suppose, garner insights as well as feed into that discussion, but also you help to facilitate discussions with relevant businesses as and when they need it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, now let's switch back to that open banking, open finance point. Let's focus on current state at the moment. What's some of the most exciting open banking use cases that you are providing at the moment and that you like to sell?
Well, I think the first thing is probably helping companies and their customers to get a far better understanding and insights into the customer's financial position. It really helps consumers and businesses to make smarter financial decisions and ultimately try and build better financial futures. So I think that's probably the first one. The second one would probably be, it sounds simple, but helping to enable absolutely frictionless pay-ins to accounts. Yeah, it's something that is so critical and pivotal to a lot of businesses out there, especially in financial services. How can we remove friction in those payments? So enabling that to be done as a one-click experience, or automated deposits, calculated deposits, where you might be wanting to contribute X% of your salary, etc. I mean, there's really a multitude of possibilities that you can enable with it. So I think getting funds into platforms is a really important part of what we do. And then I would say probably finally is CVRP, variable recurring payments. So VRP essentially enables that kind of truly one-click experience. The end user gives that ongoing consent. It's a bit like a direct debit mandate, but the things that unlocks is really powerful for businesses.
Brilliant. And you were one of the first to have CRVP connection when NatWest released it. And also, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but a little bit on your partnership with Alipay that you created to allow that functionality there.
Yeah, so we work very closely with Alipay Plus, and together we were one of the, I think we might have been the first people to perform a live payment in a real use case for a sort of for a consumer proposition, basically. And that work has been very extensive. NatWest, as you mentioned, have been the first bank to kind of pioneer into that commercial VRP space. And I think they've done a fantastic job. And really what we now need to do is try and work closely with the rest of the banks to try and broaden this out, because as you can imagine, it's great that NatWest customers have that ability to initiate these one-click payments or direct debit use cases. But realistically, we need to see that more broadly available across the other banks.
Definitely, definitely. And 2017 is reasonably short time for Yapily to have started to have the growth you've had. What's the team size now?
So we're just over 100 people now. Yep.
Wow. Okay. So it's amazing and quite staggering the growth you've seen in this part. So I can only imagine what's going to be in the next 5 years for Yapily. So let's touch on that a little bit. What for you is quite exciting in the roadmap? And I know you mentioned open finance before. That's obviously our community focus. So if you can, how are you going to try and develop in those sectors more?
So I think open finance is probably at the heart of that kind of 5-year plan. The world is waiting for broader data sources to become available. We're eagerly awaiting the kind of, I suppose, the direction from the FCA on what the future entity looks like that oversees open banking, how that might incorporate open finance and drive that forwards. I think there's a strong focus on the regulatory frameworks that are being worked on for open finance and seeing those come to fruition, as well as obviously broader data sets, including, obviously, well, I think when you look at it, open banking and identity probably sit as the cornerstones for open finance. But beyond that, even government kind of data, whether it's DVLA, Companies House, the land registry, all of these things feeding in to the greater ecosystem and ultimately trying to bring about the ability for people to share whatever important information they need to share when they need to share it, and doing it in a seamless way.
Perfect. And now let's forget Shift, let's forget Yapily. James, yourself, what innovations are you quite excited about in the next 5 years? Now, I know you are a head-down focus in open finance, open banking world, but I don't know if there's anything outside that scope which excites you.
Well, I think probably to me the reason why I got into open banking in the first place is because I genuinely think the possibilities it unlocks, and especially open finance, are extremely exciting. And really, when you look at it, I think that's how the future is going to work. In terms of how all services interoperate with one another, it comes down to API connectivity. And so I think when you combine that kind of API connectivity with embedded finance solutions and data-driven insights, I think it's going to be an extremely powerful proposition. So I think it's probably, to answer your question, it's probably combining a few different technologies and approaches into one, add into the mix AI, and really you can unlock some pretty powerful insights that are ultimately going to help consumers, help businesses. I think one of the most exciting things I see is how we discover new use cases just for open banking every day. Imagine when things broaden out to open finance. So I think really what excites me is where this is all heading, and it is all interrelated.
Yeah, I like your perspective on things, which is we kind of don't know what the revolutions are going to be, but we know that tech is going to facilitate it, and we're looking forward to see what those use cases are. That's very much my approach.
Yeah, and Yapily wants to be right at the heart of that. And I think we've made a conscious decision to focus on the infrastructure rather than building all the tools that sit on top of that. Really, we are here to power the companies that are building those next generation solutions.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for listening. Now, how can the people watching help support the mission of Yapily, get in touch? How can they best reach out?
Well, our website is www.yapily.com, but no, ultimately anybody is welcome to get in touch with me. I am more than happy to speak to people about whether it's specific projects they're working on, or even if they're just interested in what open banking is, how it works, where it might be heading, how it could potentially apply to them. I have a lot of conversations with people who are at the early stages of just looking into this so that it might hit their roadmap in late 2025, maybe even 26. So, by all means, welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn, email, and of course our website if you want some more info.
And of course at the Shift community and Shift events.
And of course the Shift events. I come to as many as I can.
Yes,
I think I've got a fairly good track record.
Yeah, very good track record. and you're always the one that stays the latest, which is what I love to see.
Well, not now because I've moved out of London, so I usually have to try and catch the last train home.
Yeah.
But no, looking forward to the next one.
Definitely, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for having me.
I've been Kyle from Shift Open Finance Community, and thank you, James.
Thank you.